Alright, welcome back. Today we're going to change the mower blades on my Rover mower. To make it easier to get to, put it like that. Because it's a 4-stroke, you shouldn't really turn it upside down. We'll put it on the side. Oil in the sump will go places where you don't want it to go. See in here, this blade is bent up and it's all worn away here. The blade's all cracked up. Well, the way to get them out is up in there. You can see the bolt or the nut. There's the end of the bolt and the nuts up in there. And the new ones look like this. The bolt, blade, and the nut. And the important thing to notice of this is a nylock nut. There's a bit of nylon in there. See that in there, that white stuff? It stops the nut coming undone. Which is, you don't want the nut coming undone when the mower's spinning this blade around at 1,000,000 miles an hour. One thing with nylock nuts is they're not meant to be screwed on and off multiple times. You're meant to just screw them on and then leave them on. And if you take them off, in theory, you're supposed to change the nut. In the kit that I bought, they've given me nuts, as well as the blades. Not sure what you can see under there, but a lot of these bolts get rounded off. They're quite hard to undo. Like this one, it's not turning a little bit, but it's not turning very much. I can't feel the bolt turning as well, but we'll see. So I tipped the mower up a bit higher. Hopefully all in the sump won't go anywhere it shouldn't. It's not the end of the world if the oil moves around a little bit, but I'm trying to avoid it. And I've blocked up, put this bit of wood in here into this gap. Try and stop the blade from turning. I can just turn it. It's turning very hard, and I can see that this bolt isn't turning, which means the nut's undoing. That's good. It's certainly not easy. Okay, it's getting easier now. It's a 14mm spanner, if anyone wants to know. There it is. So there's the old bolt, the old nut. You can see the nylon in there has had a thread cut in it, and it's not looking the same as the nylon in this nut. You could use it again, but you're not really supposed to use nylock nuts twice, so I won't. And there's the blade, nicely mangled up blade. Looks a lot different to the replacement one. See how this hole is like a 3/4 moon shape? Fits with this bolt. It's got a slot. That's what stops the bolt turning when you're trying to do the nut up or undo the nut, because you don't have a normal hex head on the end of this bolt to grab onto. Some mowers have two little divots, one there, and two little knobs inside the nut. Victor mowers do that. They're a bit more of a pain in the arse to get out than these ones. These ones are good. And putting it in is fairly simple. Anything to really notice that these little bent bits stick upwards. This little bent section here, that's the bit that flings the grass up into the catcher. So the only real thing to keep in mind when you're bolting it back on is this goes up at the top, bolt, the new bolt through the hole, and the nut goes on. Now, probably the only way you could stuff this up is if you put the nut on finger tight and you think that's okay, but of course it's not, because it hasn't gone all the way down and the nylon isn't holding the nut. And if you started the mower up now, there's a good chance this is going to fly out at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it could catch you in the toes or foot or someone else's head. Now, it could be someone that you don't like, but it's probably not worth taking the chance. Make sure you do it up. It's a bit of a pain because it's a nylock, so you've got to use the spanner continuously. If I was doing this for a job, I'd have a one of those ratchet ring spanners that you can get. But I do this probably once every 2 or 3 years, so I haven't bothered investing in a ratchet ring spanner. If I did buy one, when I came to use it in 2 years' time, I probably wouldn't be able to find it anyway. So this is a fairly tedious process. Spanner off, spanner on, tighten, spanner off. Notice some Rover mowers have 4 blades, and some only have 2. This one's obviously got 2. I don't know why that is. I don't know which models have got 4, which ones have got 2. Some have a disc type setup, some have a bar like this. Victors normally have a disc. And I've noticed some have a bar set up, but the blades are part of the bar, so you'd have to change this whole unit, which sounds more expensive. And normally I'd get into Mitre 10 and get these blades, but with the COVID-19 restrictions, the hardware stores are closed. You can get pickup or some nonsense, I don't know what it means. So you pay in advance and you pick up, you go down and pick it up or something, and you stay in your car. But for me, bugger that, I'll just order it online. I got these from Greenacre Mowers. So there we go, so that's nice and tight. It doesn't have to be gorilla tight, just firm. I don't know if you can see that in there. So there should be, 2 or 3 or 4 threads sticking out the bolt, which there is. Nice and tight, it's not going to come off. Now I'll do the same with the other one. Now this bit of wood's just my invention, I just thought of then. You can copy it if you want. Also keep in mind when you're undoing a nut upside down like this, it sort of feels like you're doing it the wrong way. It's anti-clockwise when you're looking at the nut. So when you're working upside down like this, you can easily try and undo it, try and turn it the wrong way. This one feels a bit easier, it's good. Same thing, spanner off, turn the spanner on, turn the nut. It's worth having a go at this, but if you're not confident in general spanners and nuts and things like that, it's probably best to take it to your local mower shop and get them to do it. But if you're at all handy or you want to feel like having a crack, then have a go. Worst case is if you stuff it up or you're not confident, you can always take it down to the mower shop and say your brother-in-law had a go at it, stuffed it up. I know you're lying, but at least you'll save face. You may do it yourself to save a bit of money. You may do it just because you have some sort of sense of satisfaction of doing it yourself. For me, it's more of a case of the amount of effort it takes to drop your mower off. Hook it in, drop it off. They do the work, and you go and pick it up. So, curve bit goes up. I probably didn't point out the last one that this is the surface that goes towards the blade. The surface, the side of the nut with the nylon on it, faces away from the bolt. So in this case, faces upwards. It'd be very hard to put on the wrong way. You wouldn't get the thread on you wouldn't start the thread with the nylon very easily. Yes, as I was saying, the time it takes for me to drop the mower off, pick it up, it's about the same time, or if not less time, just to do it myself. So I do like to save a bit of money, but it's more about the time. Tight, and I'll just pinch it up again, not what I call gorilla tight, just firm. That's that. And there's the old blades, and there, one there. Nuts. Now you could be like, oh, I might use these again one day, or you could just put them in the bin, and even I'm going to put them in the bin. So there, that's it. Now the engine turns clockwise when you're looking at it from the top, which means looking at it from the bottom it will turn anti-clockwise, so it will turn this way. And the cutting edge is here. And then this bit here helps flick the grass up through there into the catcher. So that'll make a huge difference. I'll put that on a bit crooked, it doesn't matter. It'll actually it will actually straighten up with the centrifugal force of the as the thing spins around. It will naturally want to go out that way, or if you really want to, you could tap it around like that. Doesn't really matter. Now, being a 4-stroke, there's oil in here. It's the oil filler. Now, when you've had the mower up anywhere sort of other than flat, it's a good idea just to leave it for a little while before you start it, because if any of the oil did get up into the top of the motor where it doesn't belong, it's best to let the gravity let it go back down into the sump where it belongs. That's not a scientific thing, that's just what I reckon. Also, if I was doing this for a living, I wouldn't be lifting mowers up and down. I'd have some sort of a mechanical jack set up, so you wheel it on and zip, up it goes. But because I do it once every now and then, I just lift it up by hand. And there it is.